Thank you, Ms. Hemberger. Ms. Bowser, Commissioner Bowser.
Thank you. Thank you again for the opportunity to testify. My name is Renee Bowser, and I really appreciate this opportunity to review the Office of Planning's performance over the past year that I've been a commissioner, and specifically regarding this sweeping zoning rewrite and how the agency failed to negotiate with our commission over issues particular to our neighborhoods. I live in Petworth, and I'm an ANC Commissioner for 4D02 and Vice Chair of ANC 4D. The Office of Planning's failure to actively include ANC 4D02 and ANC 4D in the planning on issues peculiar to their residents is exemplified by the agency's handling of its corner store proposal in the zoning rewrite. And that's what I'm going to just use as an example of the way we've been treated. Most of S&D 4D02 and ANC 4D are zoned R3, as we have a majority of row houses, a few semi-detached, and a few detached homes. In 2013, I first learned of the corner store proposal after I became a commissioner again, and informed constituents who were immediately concerned and opposed the by-right establishment of corner businesses. First, the corner store proposal applies only to row house zones, which in Northwest D.C. means S&D 402, ANC 4D, and other parts of Petworth, particularly ANC 4C. Enacting the corner store proposal would authorize a sweeping change in the character of these row house neighborhoods, permitting up to 4 corner stores within 500 feet of each other, where none are currently permitted. Yet at no time did OP put out notice to or offer to meet with the very sections of the city that will be impacted by the corner store proposal. It doesn't impact Foxhall. It doesn't impact Shepherd Park. It doesn't impact Tacoma Park. It doesn't, there only a maximum of 4 corner stores would be in Crestwood. It impacts where we live in ANC 4D. The failure of OP to get specific input from the neighborhoods to be impacted by this sweeping change constitutes poor and neglectful performance by the agency. OP did meet and work with the Georgetown community on issues which especially impact that area of the city, and I applaud them for that. So ANC 4D is not asking for special treatment from OP. We just want the same type of attention and consideration given to other parts of the city. Second, the corner store proposal was fraudulently presented to the community. The corner store fact sheet, which I've sent up a copy with my testimony, touts corner stores under the heading fresh food access and talked about people buying a gallon of milk and a cup of coffee in their neighborhood, stating that the zoning update would encourage corner store residential districts that make healthy living choices. Little or no account was given to the proposals allowing the sale of alcohol, the increased trash, loitering, and likely other problems that are likely to result. In sum, the sales pitch was so disingenuous, for as ANC 4D's October 15th resolution to the Zoning Commission pointed out, the studies show most corner stores don't sell healthy food. They sell things like snacks, sodas, and cigarettes, the most unhealthy. Third, if OP and economic development agencies were really concerned with providing additional healthy foods, why haven't we had much progress on, almost no progress on the Kennedy Street revitalization and very little on the Georgia Avenue, in my section of Georgia Avenue? So the point is that new leadership of OP must begin to show some respect for our neighborhoods as it's done for wealthier neighborhoods. Although Petworth is undergoing great change with the influx of higher income residents, it is still a quiet working class neighborhood. And we should not be forced to change the character and have stores on every corner when they haven't even provided any grounded reasons for it. We need a change before this goes forward. We need to be consulted and given some real reasons.
Thank you, Commissioner Bowser.
Thank you.
Ms. Gates.
Good afternoon, Chairman Mendelson. My name is Alma Gates. The Committee of 100 on the Federal City is pleased to appear before the Committee of the Whole to present testimony on the performance of the Office of Planning. As the Chair is aware, C100 has appeared before the Committee of the Whole several times in the past year to present testimony on the Office of Planning's proposed zoning regulation review as well as the Height of Buildings Act of 1910. The damaging changes proposed for the Height Act are no longer under consideration by Congress, but OP continues to move forward the ZRR to the Zoning Commission for final decision. It appears Council has allowed the city to put its biggest eggs in one agency's basket. The Office of Planning not only works hand in glove with the Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development to ensure major land deals successfully clear the Zoning Commission, but the same agency is writing regulations and acts as technical staff to the Zoning Commission. The autonomy enjoyed by OP has enabled the agency to completely control the ZRR process from the very outset, to repurpose a review into a total rewrite, and to do so without educating the public. C100 was approached recently by several ANC commissioners who asked if a briefing session on the ZRR could be conducted. Subsequently, commissioners from wards 1 and 8 asked C100 to come to their wards and conduct a ZRR briefing for residents. These briefings have occurred, and our takeaway was that the public is unable to evaluate, much less comment on, the proposed ZRR text amendments. The late Barbara Zartman recognized the zoning code as a social contract between a people and their community. C100 supports a revision of the current zoning regulations that will produce a diverse and inclusive city, local solutions that will preserve our distinctive neighborhoods and protect the environment, and decision-making that retains our rights to influence growth and change in our neighborhoods. The rewrite process has been sufficiently long to allow C100 members time to unravel the proposals, and from our perspective, it would be tragic if Council and others were to decide that 7 years working on anything means it is worthy of completion. Presently, the ZRR is not worthy of completion. The time absorbed by this project has shown how complicated zoning is, as well as how unreasonable it is to attempt to meet multiple goals, rewriting the entire code, re-envisioning residential zones, changing terminology and structure, increasing permissions, and reducing required reviews, etc. The task OP undertook was too much to bite off and may result in a drastic change of the contract the city has with its residents. C100 is before you today to deliver a hard message. More oversight is needed of the Office of Planning, and we urge Council to judge OP's performance on how well they have engaged residents in a meaningful way. We welcome Rosalind Huey as the interim director and recommend she make reestablishment of the public contract through meaningful engagement and education her agency's highest priority.
Thank you, Ms. Gates. Thank you, each of you, for your testimony. I have only a couple of questions. I think I have only a couple of questions. I do want to say this. This was prompted by Ms. Gates' statement regarding the Height Act. We don't know at this point what Congress is going to do. As you know, the Office of Planning submitted, or the mayor submitted, through the Office of Planning recommendations with which I disagreed, and the National Capital Planning Commission submitted different recommendations. There was one common thread which had to do with the roof structures and whether the language that prohibits habitability would be struck or not. Both Office of Planning and National Capital Planning Commission agreed with that language, and I believe also with language that any roof structures are limited to 20 feet in a single story. So something may still be introduced in Congress, don't know, and don't know how extensive it would be. So I don't think it's I don't think it's over.
I'm sorry, did you?
I say I don't think that we can say that that it's, I said that I don't think it's over. That is to say, I think there still might be something that's forthcoming in terms of legislation on Capitol Hill. Ms. Gates, you said at the end of your testimony, more oversight is needed of the Office of Planning. What does that look like?
I think it looks like perhaps council might want to review what OP has done in terms of outreach since the set down in September. How have they reached out to communities? Because up to that point, even the task force couldn't keep up with. We continued to get new text on a regular basis. It was set down. There have been no more task force meetings. There's been no communication I'm aware of with ANCs other than they received a flyer about the hearings, and that came through OZ. So I'm not sure how the public is being educated on a new zoning code when OP has not been out to visit neighborhoods.
Well, there's these meetings in each ward that are going on this month. Is that OP or the Zoning Commission?
There were a series of hearings that the Zoning Commission held in December. Then they went out to the wards. But OP is having open houses. I think 2 are outside their office, the rest are in their office. But if you don't know the questions to ask, or you don't, I can't tell you how many people have said to the Committee of 100, we didn't even know this was going on. When we went out to the wards.
Yeah, if you can hear me sighing, I'm sighing.
I can second that.
Yeah, but I don't know what to do about that.
Well, I think there was a suggestion made last year when you held the oversight hearing on the ZRR, and it was that perhaps every household could receive a mailer similar to that we get for leaf collection that talks about the zoning rewrite and how important it is to every household.
I think there's more to it than that in the
Wonderful.
sense that you need, like, that's a good mechanism, but you need bite-sized chunks to say, here's a 985-page draft, come to our office hours and ask us questions, is not going to elicit real engagement. If you say we're going to go issue by issue, let's make a decision about corner stores, and you send out not only the direct mail piece, but you flag the ANC commissions where these proposals are targeted for, and then have a list of questions to be answered in making that policy, you provoke a kind of constructive engagement that's very focused and that can lead to targeted zoning changes without a whole lot of hassle and rehashing.
Can I just jump in, Chairman?
Sure.
I understand that OP has ward coordinators. I believe I read on the website that there are ward-specific coordinators. I have no clue who mine is, and I don't understand why I don't know why that is. Outreach, in my opinion, it's not hard to do. If your job is to be the Ward 8 coordinator, that means your job is to get to know Ward 8, get to know our different communities, and it's not that hard. If you start with the ANCs, if you start with the civic associations, we have about 7 or 8. If you're coming out to our meetings and you're hearing our concerns, when OP convened those 2 visioning sessions, it would have been easy to get at the Congress Heights Community Association and ask them to co-convene the retail space in Congress Heights. It impacts not only 8C, it impacts 8E as well. Bring the 3 of us together to have this conversation. To say that we administered a survey to 75 people, 33 was from Congress Heights, that's nothing to be proud about. And they have this strategy for outreach. It's not being implemented, and it needs to be updated. It was written in 2009, and there's some flaws in there, and I do point it out in my testimony. you have to get out of your office and you have to come to the community, even if the conversations at times are charged. I know they are. But let people have their say, and also let them know what's going on. You have to keep people informed, especially if that's your job.
I agree with everything she just said, and also there are ways such as with the churches. There are a lot of people over a certain age, and they have things in the evening, so they're not going to the A&C meeting, but you could get them at church. And those are places where people of all ages, singles, families, and everything, you can let them know the important issues and break it down and explain why, other than just, oh, well, we want this because so people can go buy a cup of coffee at the corner.
One other thing, Ms. Hemberger, you mentioned the council's confirmation. I don't believe that the Director of Office of Planning is confirmed by the council.
Oh, really? Wow. That's shocking.
Well, for one thing, the Office of Planning is not considered a
Cabinet
subordinate
level.
agency. I believe it's within the EOM.
Well, I'm surprised by that. That seems like a structural change that should be made, given the ways in which we already have a structure where the Zoning Commission is independent and it relies on the Office of Planning to vet the Office of Planning's own work. If the Office of Planning is then only reports to the mayor and isn't subject to council confirmation, that becomes a really serious issue.
All right, I've just embarrassed myself. Apparently, Ms. Tregoning was confirmed, so that would come
That's
to
what I
us.
thought.
All right. I don't have any other questions for you. Thank you, each of you, for your
Thank you,
testimony.
Chairman Mendelson.
Thank you.
Phil Blair, if you'd come forward. Mary Pat Rowan, is she here? Linda Schmidt, if you'd come forward. Nancy McWood. Benedict Aubrin.